Why would you infiltrate or would you go and infiltrate Ahmedabad today?
Because right now it is in
occupation. Would you go and infiltrate?
Because right now it is in occupation.
But is it part of India or no?
Yes, it is. That is
then how can you infiltrate something that's part of India?
Comes there.
So use the word reclaim. Do not use the word infiltration. Is all I'm saying.
I'm infiltrating a land.
Perfect. I hope the viewers are smart enough to understand the point here and how Sneh's policy. All of you recognize.
In front of me is not smart enough.
We agree that India and Israel might be on similar terms, might be on similar lines. But again, Israel's occupation, illegal, not for me to say, not for me to comment.
Fair.
But that occupation is again very heavily controversial around the world.
Controversial, yet it was able to be done.
Fair. But you can't also look at the efficiency and let go of the legal aspect as well.
The biggest problem in India right now in that particular.
We need at least one of the P5 to support us. There have been
idea of reclaiming Pakistan-Occupied Kashmir.
No, how can you claim that? There have been ideas ever since Modi has been mentioning that in his speeches, in his claimation since forever.
Tell me one action that is taken which is done to reclaim Pakistan-Occupied Kashmir.
It's not a direct action. You can't go shoot Pakistan and get it back.
So
There's step.
Okay,
so also by the way, lovely use of this power, this position of power you have as a host. Samne laga point aa raha hai, shut the fuck up. Samne laga point, shut up, dude.
I don't care.
It can happen in terms of Pakistani support as well, on humanitarian grounds as well, because there's innocent Kashmiri lives at stake.
Listen to my plan. I'll tell you how I can violate that also.
I'm listening to your plan. Oh yeah, go ahead. I want to listen. Okay. This is a crucial part. This is a crucial part. I want to listen to how Sneh will justify violating international humanitarian veto powers just because he has a plan. Go.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't interrupt me.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Sneh. Just a thing.
No.
Let's respect. Okay. Let's respect. I want to listen. I want to listen to your plan, but this is a sensitive issue, and I'm a citizen of this country. I need to know. I need to know that the correct word.
Keep your sensitivity.
Sneh, please listen. If you've called me, just listen to me. Go to the UN Charter once. Read the first 5 articles. Look at India's global diplomatic relations and how OIC comes into play. We'll start with Sneh because उसका podcast है.
Yes, exactly.
कुछ कर नहीं सकता.
इस podcast में सिर्फ मैं ही बोलता हूँ. बोलने का मौका नहीं मिलता है.
This is the Arnab Goswami of Rajkot, guys.
Fair. Considering the last interview, I agree.
The last interview was.
हास्य कलाकार और पॉलिटिक्स एक ऐसा मेल है जो बहुत वक्त से चलता आ रहा है. हमारे भारत वर्ष के अंदर सबसे अहम जो मेल है वो इन दोनों का है. बहुत सारी सरकारें बनी बिगड़ी इन हास्य कलाकारों की वजह से. कुछ कार्टूनिस्ट की वजह से सरकार बनी और कुछ कॉमेडियंस, कुछ स्पीकर्स की वजह से सरकारें बनी और कुछ की वजह से टूटी भी. ऐसे एक हास्य कलाकार जो कि अहमदाबाद के अंदर है, जो कि उसी तरह के पॉलिटिक्स के अंदर इंटरेस्ट लेते हैं, वैसे एक आदमी मेरे सामने है. वंश Mulchandani is here with us. आज हम करेंगे मतभेद.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Sneh bhai. I just want to say something. Before I met Sneh, I am a comedian by profession. I am a business student by my academia. मेरा law से politics से कुछ नाता नहीं है. पहले I used to be an alcoholic. I was a father of 6 children. I used to beat my children. I used to beat my wife रोज रात को दारू पी के. And then I met Sneh Khatri. And that changed my life. Then I turned my life around. फिर मेरे को politics में interest हुआ, debate में interest हुआ. I aspired to be like Sneh Khatri. Now I'm on Sneh Khatri's podcast.
Let's go. And now your wife is also with me. So
we don't talk about my wife because my other ones might listen.
Fair.
Okay, so I am a comedian, but I have been doing debates since I was in 9th grade, and that has risen my interest for politics. And also I've just come to the realization that you cannot be apolitical ever.
Yes.
It's a stupid idea to call yourself apolitical. So I'd rather be political than be stupid.
Fair.
So I'd be politically stupid rather than stupid. Yeah, of course. And being stupid is what pays me though.
So today, just like we have an interesting guest with us, we'll also have an interesting topic.
Hell yeah.
Just how absurd the guest should be, the motion should also be absurd.
Okay.
I don't mean...
Let's listen to what the motion is.
The motion here...
फिर गाली पड़ेगी इसको.
The motion here we have is that the House believes Pakistan-Occupied Kashmir should be reclaimed by India.
Ooh.
Where I am for reclaiming it and you are against reclaiming it because you are a anti-nationalist.
I am a Pakistani agent.
Fair.
I'm not. No. I want to clarify. I'm not an Azad Kashmir ka supporter. I'm not resistance movement ka supporter. I am an Indian. I support Kashmir being part of India.
Kashmir, I believe, is Indian only. So
No, Azad Kashmir does not exist. If you believe it's Indian, it does not exist. No.
Fair.
Kashmir, I believe Kashmir is politically, historically, legally, judicially part of India. It's in all aspects part of India. But for the sake of the debate, I'm going to take the against stance.
yes.
Huh.
So what you can do is, even if, say, for example, we both will act like Indians,
Yeah.
we both will think about the practicality of the idea. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
And then after we can continue on it.
Perfect.
Sounds
Can do.
great?
Can
okay,
do.
perfect. So we'll start with
Yeah.
me, because I'll be putting forward a proposal which you will be
Yeah,
rejecting.
we'll start with Sneh because उसका podcast है.
Yes, exactly.
कुछ कर
And,
नहीं सकते.
इस podcast में सिर्फ मैं ही बोलता हूँ, तो बोलने का मौका नहीं मिलता है.
This is the Arnab Goswami of Rajkot, guys.
Fair. Considering the last interview, I agree.
The last interview was name dropped. Beep.
So why I believe that Pakistan-occupied Kashmir can be reclaimed by India is specifically because of the recent controversies that are happening. The Pahalgam attack, the Pahalgam terrorist attack is not the reason for us to reclaim Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
It's a trigger.
An opportunity for us.
Correct.
We can actually use this particular opportunity because at this particular time, there are multiple resolutions as well as multiple actions that are permitted to us to be taken care of.
Correct.
For us to carry forward and reclaim Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. That is my first argument.
Correct.
My second argument specifically is that Pakistan, as usual, has done something stupid, that is to bring back or to suspend Shimla Agreement.
Ah.
As soon as the Shimla Accord goes out of the table, we can actually start discussion of this particular thing in United Nations also, and also the LOC, which was
To be
claimed by both
respected
of us
under
or
the
respected
Shimla
by
Agreement.
both of us,
Yeah.
can be violated now.
Correct.
And especially when they have started to violate as per the recent news. So now we,
I mean, do you have a source that it was violated by Pakistan or Pakistani sponsored militants? That's the point.
no,
here.
that
Because
is-
you can't annul the idea that this might be a link between the terrorism between the militants sent and Pakistan.
So you might
we'll
not
assume that Pakistan has annulled or
after
disrespected the
Indus
LOC
Water
agreement.
Treaty, was suspended. After that, Shimla Agreement was suspended, and thereafter, Pakistani
But
military
again,
themselves.
I get your point, but how do you annul the idea that Shimla Agreement was annulled or Shimla Agreement
They
was
did an announcement.
disrespected?
They did a proper press conference announcement, and then they after they also.
Okay, the
violated.
General Amir.
I am not saying the terrorist.
Are you referring to General Amir's conference the
yes,
day
press
before
conference.
yesterday, I guess?
Yes, in that they specifically stated that.
Okay.
Then also the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has released a paper saying that the
Okay.
Shimla Agreement has been out of the table.
Okay,
Okay,
fair.
and after that, Pakistan military they themselves have violated,
Fair.
not the terrorists.
Fair,
Okay,
fair, fair.
terrorist is a very different scenario. So as soon as this happens, the Shimla Agreement goes out of the table.
Fair.
Now, I have a particular plan in my head, which, if implemented properly, we can actually reclaim Pakistan-occupied Kashmir slowly and steadily. And
Okay.
the reference that I'm going to use, as well as the inspiration that I'm going to use, is Israel's tactic of occupations of West Bank and multiple other.
Okay, this can be very controversial because
Yes,
again,
I'll go-
there are. We agree that India and Israel might be on similar terms, might be on similar lines. But again, Israel's occupation illegal. Not for me to say, not for me to comment.
Fair.
But that occupation is again very heavily controversial
Fact that
around
it
the
is
world.
controversial, yet it was able to be done.
Fair.
is
But
my
you can't also look
Now-
at the efficiency and let go of the legal
The
aspect
biggest
as well.
problem in India right now in that particular case is morality.
Yeah, okay. Before you
have
go,
principles.
I have a lot of complaints to Pakistan. I just have one very huge complaint. Why? Because of all of this, Hania Amir's Instagram is banned in India. This your cameraman agrees.
So sympathy that is being generated because of
For
these
Hania
factors,
Amir.
yes, that should be avoided.
It's not sympathy, it's lust. She was hot.
Sympathy.
That's all.
That is the point. The youth of the nation should be united together. कोई
We
पाकिस्तान
are
की तरफ होने
united
नहीं
for
चाहिए.
Hania Amir.
That is my point. सामने वालों की तरफ unite होने का क्या मतलब?
So पहले Pakistan should eliminate its own hot women and फिर आगे का सोचना चाहिए.
We should avoid the distractions. That is my point.
अच्छा जी.
The youth should not
अच्छा
be
जी.
distracted.
अच्छा
We are
जी.
in crisis situation.
अच्छा
right?
जी.
Okay.
ठीक है.
So now we'll get into the parts कि कैसे I can occupy Pakistan occupied Kashmir. I
Okay.
can reclaim Pakistan occupied Kashmir. I'll
Okay.
keep correcting my words there.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
there are multiple posts which are on our side which needs to be reinforced or reinfiltrated. Where there are multiple actions which need to be taken. I have made a proper documentation. I have attached in the description also, and I'll given it to you also, which is proper details of what artilleries should be provided in those posts, which regiments, how many troops should be provided where.
Okay.
This might be a short-term thing which can require 18 to 15 days of ETA, but this is a very long-term planning behind it. Therefore, this basis should be made such that it could be a long-term implications.
Okay.
Right. Now,
so just one thing. Whenever we talk about short-term decisions and decisions that have a short-term impact, I, for myself, personally believe that if not thought correctly for the future, these implications might be wrong. Because Article 370, they worked for this for years. Abrogation was a brilliant move.
Yes.
It was a political move that I don't believe any other government or any other leader could have gotten to. Amazing move, but the aftermath horribly managed.
The reinfiltration part of it is
no. I'm just pointing out how Article 370's abrogation, brilliant move, but the aftermath and what followed was horribly managed because of two reasons, I believe. Firstly, they did not look at the aspect of statehood coming, and when the Supreme Court gave a verdict that you need to have elections there, they forego their entire statehood idea, and they had elections. And secondly, they lost the elections. They were not strong enough. Their hold wasn't strong enough after the abrogation.
So
they lost. So India essentially lost all the autonomy that it had militarily, and now Article 370 abrogation ke baad they had elections without
that it had militarily.
No, it lost. Why I say that is because now
Armed Forces Special Act, when emplaced in any particular place, the public suffers a lot because of it.
Can you put ASPA though?
That is my point, sir. ASPA लगने की वजह से public बहुत suffer.
But have they put ASPA after 370? Have they?
Increase nationalism.
My point here is that Article 370's aftermath was very horribly planned.
Okay.
For the reason that BJP, if they had such a huge plan for Kashmir, if they had all of this planned out for 370, post 370, they should have won the initial election, which they didn't.
So.
Which they didn't.
Just
and
because
presumably
they could not win the election, the Article 370 abrogation should not be postponed or avoided.
Abrogation was
brilliant. Congress did for a very long time.
Abrogation was brilliant, but flexing their own morale and forgetting that something would follow, there would repercussions.
Something good happened for Kashmir. And
there still isn't statehood. Statehood still isn't there.
The government
Kashmir still doesn't have statehood. Is my point.
Should not have right now.
And they had the election.
It should not.
They lost the election, which essentially says that Bharatiya Janata Party has lost all of its autonomy apart from being the central government.
So what?
So now you see what's happening in Kashmir as a repercussion of this horribly.
Not been lost.
No,
but anyways,
apart from the point that apart from the point of them being the central government, they have lost all autonomy that they had before, while Article 370 was in place. So essentially, what I'm trying to say is they horribly planned it, and this is one.
I'm not here to defend.
That
BJP.
was one reason as to why what's happening in Kashmir today is happening.
Okay, I'm not here to defend BJP. I'll continue on my point.
Okay.
Fair. Now, as soon as
I think you should defend BJP being the state, being the government.
Now, as soon as the reinforcements start happening and the military is there, the second part or the second phase of this particular operation start. That is to bring up international support towards us.
Okay.
For that, I feel like the Shimla Agreement is actually an opportunity which अभी तक इंडिया ने कभी यूज नहीं किया, वो यूनाइटेड नेशंस.
ओके.
स्पेसिफिकली अभी के वक्त पे जैसे ही इन लोगों का टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ है, दुनिया की सिंपैथी हमारे साथ है. तो अगर हमने अभी यूनाइटेड नेशंस के अंदर गए और हमने बहुत सारे ऐसे रेजोल्यूशन है जो कि एक्चुअली में काउंटर टेररिज्म करने की परमिशंस देते हैं.
एंड देयर इज यूएन मोकेप एज वेल.
यस,
the military observer group in Pakistan.
We don't even need to involve United Nations here. Just if we take action, we can back our actions because of the resolution that exists and Article 51 क्योंकि अभी इन्वोक हो चुका है.
See, resolutions exist, but you're also forgetting that the UN Charter exists. Yes. And my point here is that we don't need. You're saying that we don't need to bring UN in, but the UN will barge in. Yes. For one point that I'll put forward for now is that although you and I, we as Indians believe that Kashmir is part of India, we believe that accession was legal and legitimate. The United Nations still recognizes it as a disputed territory. And under Article 2, subsection 4 of the UN Charter, there cannot be any aggression or use of force on disputed territory.
But
so firstly, यहाँ पे the UN Charter आ जाएगा, and that's a huge risk for sanctions here.
Which has happened, that is recognized as Indian land by United Nations also.
Agreed. No, Pahalgam.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Because
Pahalgam is agreed.
This side of LOC. As soon as it is this side of
Pahalgam
LOC,
it's recognized as the Indian occupied Kashmir. It's recognized as Indian occupied Kashmir.
No.
It's recognized not as India. It's recognized as Indian.
LOC has been line drawn and both of the parties have been told not to violate it. If any terrorist attack happens on that side also, we are liable for it.
But okay, so there's Kashmir. There's Kashmir and there's the LOC that divides it. The part above the LOC that goes to Kashmir is Pakistan-Occupied Kashmir, and the part below is India-occupied Kashmir. It's not part of India, which is again a disputed territory. Indian-occupied Kashmir is also a disputed territory, which would invite sanctions internationally.
49 लग जाता है ना फिर.
But again, the whole idea of sanctions being here because of the UN Charter's second article protecting this idea of a disputed territory comes in here.
Listen to my operation first and then after come upon
it. I'm just pitching this point in.
to prove that my operation is legal.
Okay.
Let me just pitch my legalities.
I mean, I seriously doubt how it would go against the second article of the UN Charter, but yeah, I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
I'll go ahead.
I'm very eager to know.
So there is Article 60 of Vienna Convention, which says that if any particular bilateral treaty is violated by one party, the other party can nullify that particular treaty.
Correct.
शिमला agreement उन लोगों ने violate कर दिया
so
है.
India nullifies
Vienna
it.
Convention Article 60 की मदद से
India nullifies it. Correct.
तो अगर हमने अभी एलओसी क्रॉस किया किसी भी टेररिस्ट को अटैक करने के लिए तो ना हमारे पर शिमला एग्रीमेंट लगता है और ना यूनाइटेड नेशंस का कोई रेजोल्यूशन लगता है. क्यों?
चार्टर
चार्टर लगता है उसको मैं आ रहा हूं सर, उसके पे आ रहा हूं. काउंटर टेररिस्ट मूव है स्पेसिफिकली,
so you
मूव पे इन्वोक नहीं होगा. सेकेंडली आर्टिकल 51 के अंदर वी कैन गो फॉर सेल्फ डिफेंस एंड दैट इज प्योर रिटेलिएशन.
Okay, so with this point you delegitimize the Shimla Agreement. You delegitimize the Shimla Agreement. ठीक है, that's step 1.
जैसे ही मैंने आर्टिकल 51 इन्वोक किया, आर्टिकल 51 की सेकंड लाइन में लिखा हुआ है कि अगर कोई वायलेशन होता है तो उसका यूएनएससी के अंदर डिस्कशन शुरू होगा.
Correct.
ठीक है. चार्टर
And
में आप कुछ
by the way,
नहीं
just for context, just for your context, India is also looking at a permanent seat in the UNSC.
Yes.
So any of these actions might affect our
That
ambition.
is where my second move comes up.
Yes.
That now we need to start negotiation with United States. United States, as soon as we start negotiation with, तो France और UK के साथ negotiation शुरू हो ही गया.
Fair, हाँ.
Secondly, we have one more.
You can consider the EU entirely यहाँ पे. Brussels के साथ ही हो गया entirely.
Secondly, we have one more P4 member who is very good friend of ours. That is Russia.
Russia, yeah.
Russia might have conflict of interest with China here because China, Pakistan एक साथ में गिन ही रहा हूँ अभी के point.
Okay.
But here, when I keep point forward to the other P4 members, that is where we can actually put forward our negotiation. And that is why my doctrine of removing neutrality comes up.
Okay.
Listen to it carefully. India, now is the time India should remove its neutrality stance and be open for both sides to taken care of. Now what will happen is as soon as we'll even start decreasing or start removing our neutrality, US and Russia will start fighting for our approval. Because they want to enter.
Are you sure? I mean, of course, South
how.
Asian stability matters to them. But would they really fight for our approval? Are you sure of that claim?
I'll tell you how.
Yeah.
How they will fight for our approval.
Because when again, considering the fact that we're not even a permanent member,
when both of our ambassadors will go to United States as well as Russia, presenting multiple leverages that we can give to both of them.
Okay.
They will start overcompensating for us to make a proper selection. Because it could be this side or it could be this side.
Fair.
It could never be both.
Correct. But here comes the idea of diplomacy.
Now when they start overcompensating it, they will defend us more than we will do anywhere. And that is where our chance of getting permanent seat also opens up.
But the idea here being that so this would heavily affect the quad that we have with US, EU, UK per se. Because also India has for time and again received a lot of criticism from the OIC, the Islamic bloc. But listen. The Islamic bloc, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which has I guess 57 member states if I'm not wrong, that has been criticizing India's actions and India's instability with Kashmir for a very long time. Now, considering the fact that OIC is also very important for global trade in sects that I said SECTS.
Go ahead.
In ideas, in probations that we also need trade for fuel. We need trade for electricity, for energy. For all of those, this quad is very important. And I don't think US, EU or even Russia would back us when we try to interfere with something that the OIC would not exactly agree with and can disrupt international trade right here.
What we want to build is that in matters of Pakistan-Occupied Kashmir, one of the parties should back us. One of the permanent members should back us. That is what
has there been history of any permanent member backing us though?
Right now we have an opportunity to change the history.
There's been opportunities a lot of times. There's been opportunities with
Uri. It has not been leveraged because
there's been opportunities with Pulwama.
Up until now. My plan cares about
with Balakot, with Pulwama, there have been opportunities for us to do this.
Yes.
And our security personnel died. That was a bigger opportunity. We did not because of this lack of backing that you're talking about. Because of this lack of international P5 backing that you're talking about.
My infiltration plan is very different, sir.
But this, I'm just picking on your idea that we need at least one of the 5 P5 countries to have a backing here. I doubt there will ever be one P5 country backing us because of the fact that historically we've never seen this. Historically we've never seen this.
And open yourself.
Okay, and I think even you would agree that just a second, Sneh. I think even you would agree that currently India is at its strongest diplomatic hold in our 75 years of independence.
Russia ship did alive.
Sir, just listen.
In case of Bangladesh war.
Sir, just listen. India, you might also agree that India is currently at its strongest diplomatic hold in our 75 years of independence. Yes or no?
Fair.
Fair. Yes. So that's a yes. That's not fair. That's a yes.
Fair.
That's a yes.
Yeah.
That's a yes.
Take it.
Even with this, even under this diplomatic leadership, there have been instances where the P5 could have supported our action to PoK. They could have supported our action
We didn't
and
take any
an
action on
ambition.
PoK.
No, sir.
What actions have been taken on PoK?
Sir, how are you forgetting an entire surgical strike? There's movies about all of
That
this.
is my point, sir. Surgical strike
So
on
no,
terrorists, not on Pakistan-Occupied Kashmir.
you're insurging an idea that we need at least one of the P5 to support us. There have been
of reclaiming Pakistan-Occupied Kashmir.
No, how can you claim that? There have
Yes.
been ideas ever since Modi has been mentioning that in his speeches, in his claimation since forever.
Tell me one action that is taken which is done to reclaim Pakistan-Occupied Kashmir.
It's not a direct action. You can't go
My
shoot
point,
Pakistanis
sir.
and get
Thank
it back.
you so
There's
much, sir.
steps.
Let me take the
No,
direct
there's
step.
steps. There have been steps. There have been innumerable
What?
steps, and still
What?
there has.
What steps?
Just listen. My entire point here is delegitimizing your point about the P5 supporting us. There have been instances, there have been innumerable steps that the Modi administration has
Thank
taken.
you for turning around as soon as you knew you didn't have answer.
Yet none of the P5 have supported us and not
I'll
speak
tell
for
you
our
P5
support
has
once.
supported us.
Give me one instance.
In case of Bangladesh,
Give me one
when
instance.
we were involved
Not
with
Bangladesh. I don't want to talk about
When we
Bangladesh.
were let me complete
Go
my
ahead.
sentence.
Yeah,
When
Russia
we
sent
were-
us naval ships. Russia
Yes.
sent us naval support.
That is
That doesn't count
supporting us
here.
in a war.
Is Bangladesh a disputed territory? Is Bangladesh a territory
It
that
was
would
at that
is
particular time.
no is
was
UN
at that
recognized?
particular
UN
time.
recognized. Does
My
supporting
point-
India for a Bangladeshi war endanger Russia's idea and Russia's neutrality in the UN? Yes or no?
Let me tell you.
Yes or no?
Under-
Sneh, yes or no?
No.
How?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Let me speak.
Yeah.
Only then I can tell you.
Yeah,
Under
go ahead.
Article.
Okay, so also by the way, lovely use of this power, this position of power you have as a host.
I-
कि सामने लगा point आ रहा है, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. सामने लगा point है, shut up, dude.
taken my seat, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, don't tell me of the power.
Yeah,
of
this
the
is
host.
power and he has a host. Okay, good.
So,
I feel like we shouldn't be joking around when talking about such an insensitive
under
issue.
UN Resolution 47,
Yeah.
which was specifically on the India-Pakistan dispute, it has been said
Correct.
कि from that particular area, please remove your forces.
Correct.
That was what said for the ceasefire to take place.
Correct.
Now that we have invoked
That is still in place, by the way.
Now that we
That
have,
framework is
I'll
still in
tell you
place, by
how
the way.
It is not in place. Now
How?
that
Yeah,
we have
go ahead.
invoked Article 51 for our counter attack and Shimla Agreement has been violated. The bilateral treaty, as soon as that get violated, United Nations resolution doesn't stand.
Okay, so here is one thing.
Our bilateral treaty.
So
has been removed.
here's something. So India has time and again argued that such frameworks that you mentioned, such resolutions and frameworks that are in place, India has argued that they are outdated because of Pakistan's military action within Kashmir.
I'm not saying it is outdated.
No, just listen. India has argued.
not saying it is
Sir,
outdated.
India has argued within the UN. It's not you. It's our country. It's our
That is what
diplomats
I'm
that have
saying.
argued.
Right now I'm not
Just
saying.
listen to my point. Listen to my point. India has argued, and even though you say otherwise, India, our diplomats have argued in the UN that these resolutions are outdated because of Pakistan's military action within Kashmir. Now, India provoking any military action would again revive all of these frameworks. So that essentially gives Pakistan an
That is my
idea.
point, sir. Let me remind
Although
you.
I agree that vetoes like China and Russia wouldn't allow Pakistan to take any
Yes.
formal action,
So
I agree with that
will
point.
be
I
useless.
agree, but this would be an obstacle that India is not
UN
strategically
will be
ready to.
useless.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
will
not.
be, sir.
If UN was useless, UN MOGIP
will
wouldn't
be,
be in
sir,
place.
because
if
there will
UN
be-
was useless, the United Nations
Any
Military
actions
Observer
that I
Group
will
in India and
take,
Pakistan would be
any actions
useless.
that I will
If
take-
UN was irresponsible and useless by
Under
your
my
words,
plan-
in a lack of a better word for you.
Under my plan,
go
if
ahead.
I'll take any actions
Yeah.
in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir to reclaim it, UN cannot do anything because it will be veto.
Okay, and under practicality, all I'm saying is UN veto can also happen in terms of Pakistani support.
Let them criticize. I don't care.
It can happen in terms of Pakistani support as
Good.
well, on humanitarian grounds as well,
Good.
because there's innocent Kashmiri
Good.
lives at stake.
Listen to my plan. I'll tell you how I can violate that also.
I'm listening to your plan. Yeah, go ahead. I want to
Thank you,
listen.
sir.
Okay.
Okay,
This is a
now-
crucial part. This is a crucial part. I want to listen to how Sneh will justify violating
Yes.
international humanitarian veto powers just because he has a plan. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now the infiltration of this particular part will start. The
Also,
infiltration-
I'll just respect to maintain the sanctity and the sensitivity of this entire issue.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
use the
yeah.
word infiltration.
No, I'm infiltrating
Use a better word.
Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
Use a better
First,
word.
Complete,
You
let
can't
me complete my
okay,
sentence.
but just to respect the sanctity, do
No,
not use
I'm not
a
gonna
word
respect
like
terrorists.
infiltration. Sir, Kashmir is part of India.
Arey,
You're
listen
talking
to my
about
complete
Indian
sentence.
territory.
Just listen to where I'm infiltrating.
Go ahead.
Listen to it.
I'm just saying the word infiltration is very triggering when you know
I
that the
am
territory belongs to you.
I am
When you know
infiltrating-
that the territory belongs to you, you cannot infiltrate a
I'm
territory that belongs to you.
terrorists.
How can you infiltrate people? You infiltrate a land, and this land
That is
belongs
my
to
point.
India. The land belongs to India. You cannot use a word
I
like
agree.
infiltration. You
I
cannot
agree.
use a word like infiltration. Is all my point is.
No,
Use a
I
better
can.
word.
I can use
I know
the
that you
word
have a
I
lack
want
of a
to.
better word, but use a better word because you cannot use a word like infiltration because
I
Kashmir
will
belongs to
use.
India, irrespective
I
of whether it's
will
Pakistan
use.
occupied or India
I
occupied.
will
Kashmir
use.
belongs to India.
Depends on how you
Okay,
listen
so
to it or
Sneh
not.
is
I
using the
will
word
use.
infiltration, which
Yes.
essentially annuls the idea that Sneh believes that Kashmir is a third
No,
entity
no,
that
that
India
is
has to
you
infiltrate.
quoting it. I am
No,
not
the
quoting it.
word infiltration, the use of the word infiltration suggests that
No,
the
no,
territory
no.
you are infiltrating
See,
into does not belong to you. You
That-
are
that is
suggesting
not definition of infiltration
that is what.
at all.
Why would
No,
you
no, no, no.
infiltrate or would you go
Because
and
right
infiltrate
now it-
Ahmedabad today?
because right now it is in
Would you
occupation.
go and infiltrate?
Because right now it is in
But
occupation.
is it part of India or no?
Yes, it
Do
is.
you,
That is
then
what
how can you
reclaiming.
infiltrate
Sir,
something
the
that is
word
part of
reclaim
India?
comes there.
So use the
Reclaim.
word reclaim. Do not use the word infiltration. Is all I'm saying.
I'm infiltrating a land which is
Perfect.
right
I
now
hope
not in my
I hope
claim.
the viewers are smart enough to
Yes.
understand the point and
Viewers
how
are very
Sneh's
smart
policy.
enough. Just the
I
person
hope
sitting-
all of you. I hope
just
all
the
of you
person sitting
recognize.
in front of me is not smart enough.
Perfect. I hope all of you recognize how this policy comes in when Sneh is talking about
Yes.
an idea that Kashmir belongs to us, that it's our territory. Yet we have to infiltrate this. Is what Sneh is annulling here. I hope all of you see this policy right here.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
now, as soon as we'll re-infiltrate the part
Yeah.
where terrorist lies.
Yeah.
These are specifically listed down.
Yeah,
Don't interrupt me.
okay.
Don't interrupt me
Sorry.
first.
Okay,
Let me complete my
Sneh,
whole
Sneh,
plan.
just a thing.
No,
Let's
no,
respect.
I'm
Okay,
not-
let's
no,
respect.
No. Let me complete.
मारूंगा तेरे को,
Let me
Sneh.
complete.
Let's respect each other and give
No,
each other a chance to
yeah.
speak. I'll listen to your point, then give me a chance to reiterate.
Please do.
Go ahead.
Please do.
Go ahead.
So now I have specifically listed down in my documents which particular 42 points of the terrorist are right now that we know. These
correct.
particular points should be attacked.
And the source for that is
that I did earlier.
the source for these 42 points is.
It is listed down. It has been given by the ministry itself. These are
Okay.
the location points where
Okay.
terrorists.
So those are like publicly recognized.
Yeah, these are
Okay.
terrorist points where they do trainings and multiple others.
No, okay,
In
got it.
Pakistan.
Got it.
That is
Yeah.
why I use
Balochistan.
that
No,
is why I use
Pakistan-Occupied
the
Kashmir. Okay, my
infiltration
bad.
word because I want to infiltrate these particular parts. Now,
Okay.
I'm not going to argue on
Okay,
the word.
Sneh. Okay, this point
I
is.
don't want
okay.
to argue on the word.
Sneh,
Please
okay.
listen to me
Okay,
first.
go ahead.
Now, as soon as this infiltration starts, whatever actions we are doing, we are just doing counter-terrorism.
Okay.
And therefore, it could be rightfully proved.
Perfect.
Now, after this happens, the LOC, as soon as it goes out of the questions, and
Okay.
now is when our Israel tactics
Okay.
put forward.
Okay.
We can do raids where we can announce and drop pamphlets in this particular
Okay,
area.
Sneh, we'll get to your plan later. I just want to clarify one thing. So, we have established the idea that the LOC would be ignored legally. That the LOC is currently out of the picture because the Shimla Agreement has been disrespected.
We'll only realize it after I complete that particular.
No, I just want clarification. So, you're also saying that within your
Yeah.
plan, the LOC will be
Yeah,
out of the picture.
yeah.
So, after the LOC is out of the picture, do you think the entirety of Kashmir, irrespective, LOC is gone. So, now PoK, IOK are the same Kashmir. Kashmir is a part of India after the LOK is gone, yes or no?
Yeah,
Yes. So you're saying it's Indian territory.
yeah.
So I just want to understand how can you infiltrate
I'm
Sneh?
reclaiming it.
So
Right now it
reclamation is the word. Sneh, just a
अच्छा
second.
भाई, हटा
Sneh,
देना
yeah,
वो.
thank you.
हाँ.
Thank you. Because
हटा
okay,
दे.
Sneh, just a second.
तू
Sneh,
मेरा
just.
plan नहीं सुनेगा.
I
You
want to
just
listen.
keep
I
going on
want to
this
listen to your
particular
plan, but this is a sensitive issue, and I'm a citizen of this country. I need
Good.
to know. I
Keep
need
your
to know that the
sensitivity-
correct word.
keep your sensitivity
Sneh,
with you.
just
I'm not
listen.
here.
Sneh,
I'm
just
here.
Sneh. Please listen. If you've called me, just listen to me. Just a minute. There can be sleeper cells and inactive terrorists in Ahmedabad as well. You cannot infiltrate Ahmedabad just because you're aware or you're suspicious of terrorist activity here.
infiltrating
Because
Ahmedabad,
it's
I'm
part.
infiltrating.
I'm
You
giving
should have
an
let me
example. This is an
complete my
exemplar. Sneh, let me finish.
Okay, now remove infiltration word.
Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you.
You
Yeah,
happy?
reclamation is a better
You will be
word.
able to sleep at night.
I know.
properly?
No.
Good.
Only if you accompany
Good.
me.
Good. I'll bring.
Hey, shut up. This is a sensitive issue. Go ahead.
So now, as soon as this part comes up, we can drop pamphlets in the particular locations where people are there. Citizens right now are living there. Let me just tell you, these citizens are being oppressed because of their part of them being Shia Muslim. There are multiple records of it.
I don't think they're oppressed. I think they're brainwashed into supporting Pakistan at this point.
They are not given political.
Yeah, of course, assent is not given there,
Gilgit
of course.
Baltistan as well as Azad Kashmir both do not have.
Azad Kashmir
good
does not
connection.
exist. Azad Kashmir does not exist. It's Gilgit Baltistan and it's PoK. Azad Kashmir does not exist.
Okay.
Yeah.
In both these particular regions, they don't have good connection or good support in Pakistan.
yeah.
There are 4 or 5 divisions of Pakistan that is well known.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as soon as this particular thing, this is something that is an opportunity for us which could be violated.
Okay, so just a thing.
How?
So Yeah. So just explain the pamphlet wala point to me, because I have a counter for that.
What I have to do is create a refugee influx here. In this particular area, if I'm able to...
What ethnicity refugees?
Refugee influx. The people who are living there, they will become refugees because they would like to move out of their particular homes just because their parts are being bombarded.
Okay. So now just listen to what my point is.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you're saying that So what you're suggesting is that the citizenship, the kinship of Kashmir, of PoK, needs to be regressed. Essentially, a pamphlet बांट के उनको सच्चाई दिखा के I'm just asking.
Warning the citizens before attacking.
Okay. So you're saying that irrespective of whether they're Muslims or Hindus, irrespective of whether they're Indians or Pakistanis, you will attack citizens and you'll warn.
Citizens should not be attacked.
So you'll give them a warning.
Convention will be violated, and therefore we will not have legal standing of the actions that we are doing.
Okay. So imagine I'm someone living in PoK. I get a warning just like every other day. I get a warning from the Indian army. This time I get one warning from the Indian government itself. I get pamphlets the way you say, but I have a habit of being transgressed by Indian army every single day of my life. Do you think I would take that warning seriously and move out and leave my entire life?
The attacks will happen, they will realize.
Okay, so you're essentially saying that if they do not listen to the warning, which they have been desensitized towards because of the Indian army's actions.
They are part of all the terrorist groups that exist.
How can you claim that?
Because
there are Kashmiri citizens as well.
Attacks as soon as after warnings are done, then for this they are being used as human shield, as being done in Gaza Strip also.
Irrespective of all of that, they are still citizens. Irrespective, they're still citizens. Do you think all of these actionable, moralistically wrong idea that you're putting forward, are you really saying? Listen, are you really saying that this Bollywood-esque action movie-esque plan is this action movie-esque plan is? Do
you see any reference I've taken in my example from a Bollywood movie?
Yeah, Akshay Kumar's movie Baby. Brilliant movie, brilliant reference.
There is no infiltration of any particular kind in Baby.
I watched that movie last night. Brilliant movie.
Go ahead, then.
Yeah.
I remember Baby from back of my head. It is something that built me.
All I'm saying is, are you seriously saying that such an inactionable plan is worthy of risking India's diplomatic relation internationally?
Because I want Pakistan.
For what your leader, what your prime minister has worked for all these years.
Yes.
Brilliant point, please note.
We take Pakistan-Occupied Kashmir at any particular.
At any cost.
It is our
at the cost of India's repute, at the cost of India's global superpower goals, ambitions.
It is not at the cost of. Israel still holds multiple diplomatic powers.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Brilliant. I just want this to be
so
on.
Now, as soon as these types
I'm so sure that all of this is going to be cut out. It's just going to be parts of Sneh speaking and Vansh is just like this throughout the entire podcast.
Both of our mic are connected together, so I cannot cut your part.
Ooh, brilliant. So I'll just keep on.
If you do that, they will not be able to hear me.
Fuck. Okay.
So.
Also, let's do like a 10-minute timer for us.
We just conclude on this particular part. So, what my plan now going forward is to go for a long-term settlement building in this particular, just like Israel did in West Bank, where if there is possibility of building settlements in this particular area in such a way that we could, in long-term sense, reclaim that whole particular part, then this particular thing can work really well, especially when the success of tourism as well as economic success that was seen in Kashmir. And the change
in Kashmir, not PoK. You're talking about PoK here. You can't talk about
I'm taking an example.
Okay.
Please let me. So in Kashmir.
So, एक second. Giving the tourism example, you're saying that if we reclaim PoK back with this settlement idea, with your plan, you'll have tourism there while militancy still exists.
Let me. Just like in Kashmir, because of the economic development that happened, we saw people's heart change. We could see similar patterns.
Did you? Because there are intels that suggest that there were locals also involved in the Pahalgam attack.
I actually believe that locals are not in 100% support of India.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because they are able to change a little part of it, which shows that this particular part,
is a little part enough to risk everything.
Yes.
Brilliant. So a little part of your heart that believes that Kashmiri citizenship and kinship.
I've been there. I've seen it.
I've been to Kashmir as well, and they still ask for Jinnah's notes before asking for Gandhi's notes.
No, they didn't
I've
ask
been
me.
to Pahalgam.
Which part were you?
Pahalgam. I was in Meadows.
Same here.
I was right. I went to Sonmarg. I went to Gulmarg. I went to
ask me.
Srinagar and Pahalgam.
Good, I also went there.
There
You can ask
were
me.
Muslim vendors that were expecting Jinnah's notes and then
I
had
was
to accept
at a
Gandhi's
place
notes.
where even phones were not working, but Gandhi was working.
Okay, that must have been your... When did you go to Kashmir?
Just 2 months ago.
I went to Kashmir in 2022.
My point, sir.
I went in
That's my
2023.
point, sir. There is new Kashmir.
So there's one change. There's substantial change. There's a
I
little
have
change.
10 options with me.
There's a
We can bring
little
one
change,
at a
and
time.
you're
Thank you
justifying
so
that
much.
this little change
That's
is
what I
enough to
can-
risk everything
Little
India
change.
stood for
That's what I
globally and
said.
diplomatically
Thank
forever.
you so much for agreeing with me.
Brilliant. You're an amazing diplomat. I love you,
so
Sneh.
much. Thank you.
Amazing
so
diplomacy.
now that I have 10 options which could bring 10 different small changes, all together these could bring very big changes. And that is what I'm going to do when I'm going for a long-term reclamation of this particular part.
Go ahead.
All the details have been mentioned in the document, 18 pages, you can study it.
Okay.
Because you do need to study it.
Okay. And Sneh, go to the UN Charter once. Read the first 5 articles. Look at India's global diplomatic relations and how OIC
You
comes
think
into
you know
play.
UN Charter more?
No, let's not go there. I'm an Indian parliamentary guy. Fuck you for bringing that up. Fuck you, Sneh.
You know what chapter is coming after.
The one time I did UN with you, I remember I lost because of POIs.